Hello. Thank God it's a beautiful Monday, a brand new week. We give God praise for giving us the opportunity of living again to see a brand new week. Today is a very special day in the life of so many people. I really thank God for the 20th day of July. I appreciate God for your life. As you are there watching me this moment, I want to tell you congratulations for being alive and being opportuned to see me this day. And I'm happy that you are watching me. Here we've been on a subject, and I call it a subject because it has different subtopics under it. That's why I call it subject. But we are focusing actually on the word trust in the whole month of July. Today I am looking at, can trust be rebuilt? You remember I've talked about definition of trust and what trust is not. I've also talked about trust issues. I also talked about how trust can be rebuilt in relationship. But today there's a question born out of many chats. Really, can trust be rebuilt? I want to say yes and no. It depends. But at the end of the program today, you will be in a better position to answer the question that yes, it can be trusted, it can be rebuilt or not. It depends. Fine. We can't be talking about rebuilding trust without talking about what trust is over and over again. What do you know as trust? Trust means different things to different people and at different points. In an intimate relationship, trust is seen to be in terms of the generality of your character, attitude towards everything, reactions, inaction, actions. That's what it is in an intimate relationship. In an employer-employee relationship, trust is basically about your ability to keep to the rules and regulations of the job, and also in terms of how to manage both humans and resources. Now, generally, I want to talk about trust, if it can be rebuilt. Well, when you say trust is lost, it means that you place something very high and suddenly the thing came down on its own. You felt disappointed. You felt betrayed. Just like you place somebody at a very high esteem and suddenly the person is not doing it right. In Nigerian terms, we say the person fall your hand. Suddenly the person is behaving the opposite of what you thought the person should be doing. That is the thing we call loss of trust. But sometimes, like I said before, there are things that you need to also consider. Sometimes in a relationship, like an intimate relationship, there are reasons why somebody may have done what he or she did. I told us in one of the episodes that somebody could have told a lie because he or she was trying to save you. But because there was no communication, proper communication, then somebody is feeling cheated. You know, when we talk about betrayal of trust in an intimate relationship, somebody just goes to the extreme, bagam. It's about cheating. I can't stand it. He cheated me, she cheated me. No, but that's not all about trust in an intimate relationship. It's just like in an employer-employee relationship. When you hear about trust issues there, the person just goes into embezzlement, stealing of money, misappropriation of funds. It's not just that. There are some things, there are components that makes up trust in every relationship. There are components. One of the key things I've been talking about since I started talking about trust matters is the point of communication. It's so important in relationship because when you communicate properly, your partner will understand where you are going to. But when you don't communicate properly, there is tendency of misunderstanding, which leads to distrust. Sure. So sometimes that thing that you saw as betrayal might not really have been intentional, because the person must have also have considered you while he or she was doing that. For example, in an intimate relationship like marriage, you were in, and suddenly somebody came, as let's say you are a husband, and then somebody from your family that you have told your wife often and now that this person troubles me a lot, this person is this or that. Whenever I see this person, I lose my peace. And suddenly the person shows up looking for you as a husband. And the person, your wife now says, oh, sorry, my husband traveled. He isn't coming back today. And I took time to come. I really believed I was going to say, oh, sorry, he's not around. And then the next thing, if the person is trying to prove I must stay back, the lady now, in fact, I am also traveling in case there are no children yet, so we can't leave the house. And then somebody will begin to feel bad. Somebody will begin to say, why are they doing this? Why did she lie? Maybe the person now went out and stumbled into you, and then the next thing is, she lied to me or he lied to me. The person didn't intentionally lie to do anything. The person didn't do it because the person wanted to run you down, but the person did it to protect you from what you had told her. That is what can be a betrayal. There are cases of, okay, we have a plan to build our income over a period of time, and we agreed we do not need a visitor in our home. And suddenly, your mother-in-law shows up. As a husband, your mother-in-law shows up. The next thing, you want to start lying to her. And your wife, if she does not understand, will now feel that my husband does not want my mother. But that's not the truth. Both of you understanding that you have agreed on what you want to do. So what's next? The best thing you ought to do is just to say to yourself, well, this is what we are in for. So it's not a betrayal of trust. I want us to understand it that way, so that we don't continue to say we've been betrayed, even when the betrayal was done because you were the center of attraction and the person, your partner, was trying to protect you. In an employer-employee relationship, for example, my boss has said to me, I don't want to get any visitors in, no matter who. He said no matter who. And suddenly, his best friend appears in the office. And what do I have to do? My boss does not want anybody, and he wants me beforehand. When his best friend comes, even when he's seeing his car parked on the carport, the right thing is, oh, I'm sorry, my boss is out. You have lied, yes. But you are keeping your job and you are keeping your relationship on. That's what it means. But most people don't understand it that way. The same boss that told you that could come out and say, why would you say that to my friend? Don't you know him? And you now feel your boss has betrayed you. Sure, he betrayed you. He is feeling that you lied, but he knows that you lied for him, and he is the one who has betrayed you. But can it be rebuked? Sure, it can. Well, you wave it aside. When you become your own boss, you learn not to tell your staff to lie on your behalf. It's as simple as that. Fine. There are other points that could be said. Like I said, communication is so important in this relationship thing. If you cannot communicate properly, you are going to be making a lot of mistakes. You must make sure that your trust is not broken based on you not knowing how to communicate properly with your spouse. You must learn to tell your spouse, honey, I am going to the barbing shop. From the barbing shop, I will see Mr. Lagbaja, and then I will be coming in a bit late. You have communicated to her. When you are leaving the barbing shop, you can also send her a message. Honey, I've just left the barbing shop. I'm on my way to Mr. Lagwaja's house. In some cases, it doesn't really matter. You've already told the person you go. The same way goes to the woman. Not that you feel, oh, I have already said it, but you didn't know that you did not communicate properly. Is that okay? Some people will say, that their major issue is that they will tell, my spouse will tell me I am coming and he's actually going. You know, some people, their coming means going, their going means coming. When your words don't match your action, it does not work. Don't make a promise you cannot keep in any relationship, be it employer-employee relationship, be it man-woman relationship, boy-girl relationship, even siblings relationship. Say what you want to do and do it. It happened this way. And exactly that way. It helps us better. But when you begin to say things that didn't work, didn't happen, and then you are trying to match it and merge it. My father used to tell us, you need multiple lies to cover one lie. So, are you not better off to tell the truth and not to keep lying? I think that's the best answer. Another thing that you need to check is the tongue that you are using. Yes, some people in their relationships, they have too many tongues. My husband and I, were a victim of housing people like that, two persons, a couple, so many years back, about 20 years ago. This man picked this innocent lady. They met in the church, told her all series of sweet nothings, and married her, wedded her in that church, wedded her in the court. And you'll be sure that that's a sweet relationship, don't you? But do you know it was all a lie? Just under 30 days, I was working with Nigerian immigrations thereabouts. Meanwhile, he had no job anywhere. And he made her, she was working and slaving for him. Within 3 months, she realized that even if they gave you honeymoon, it's over. Go back to work. He started telling one story to the other. He started changing his phone number. He said that his number had issues. We didn't know, and she didn't know that the major thing was that he had defrauded so many people, so he had to change that number. And he changed location. This was a man with a wife and about 6 children. He lawfully married his first wife in Ikoyi registry. And he now married this other one in Surulere registry. Can you beat that? Before you know it, the real wife and her children got the wind of him getting married with somebody else. The woman, being a very nice person she is, or I hope she's still alive, was able to trace them with her children. She didn't make trouble with the new wife. What she did was she brought their wedding pictures. Of course, they don't lie, and those were pictures of black and white, not pictures that can be manipulated now. Then the world was not as digital as it is now. She brought their pictures and showed to this new wife. And that one ran to our house. That was how she came. He eventually, then we didn't even know the truth. She just came and told us that she needed a break. I said under 3 months, she needed a break. Before you know it, the man came there and was blah, blah, blah. Their house had issue, blah, 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 blah. And we allowed him. He stayed there. We didn't know he had another mission. He almost killed her in my own house. One day I went to work. By the time I came back, there were police all over our compound. What happened? My neighbor said they had to call the police because the man picked the pistol of the mortar in the kitchen, nearly hit this lady on the head. My children had gone to school. My house help was out. She had gone to school. Nobody was in the house. That was just the beginning of the whole drama. That's to tell you how bad people can lie. Young girls these days, they don't investigate much. All they just do is, he loved me, I love him. We met in town, we married. You don't know his background. That was what happened to that lady. Police intervened, and then when all these things happened, she went back to their church where they wedded and showed the evidence to the pastor of the church. The marriage was dissolved, and they went back to the court. There was no point for divorce. The court already, immediately they saw that, knew that there was no marriage. The first marriage was still standing. So that, what a betrayal of trust is that? This was a lovely sister, young girl. He saw a promising young woman and decided to pretend he was born again and all those blah, 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 eventually married her, only to destroy her. Fine. So you need to know that when you keep lying, you might just be making your spouse to lose trust in you. You tell her this today, she sees a different thing. Tomorrow you come back, you tell her another thing, she sees a different thing. Nothing will make that woman trust you. Nothing will make that man trust you. All you will need to do is go back, do a natural spiritual rebirth. Tell God, I'm sorry, and change your ways. That, I think that way, then she can begin to watch you until she sees the difference. Yes. So many people, others can exaggerate. I know of another guy that will come back and tell his wife today, hey, I don't make am. He will speak in my local dialect, Ebutogum. Meanwhile, he was just an agent running around in Apapa Wharf. He didn't even have his own office. He didn't even have anything. He was just running around agent for others. And the poor woman was there busy. Any little thing she had, she was bringing it out and everything. By the time she got to know about it, she was so devastated. She was so devastated with the children. So my beloved, I am telling you, your trust can be rebuilt. There are things that when you look at, it can be rebuilt. And in some cases, you can't rebuild it. Because like that woman, the first example I gave, she couldn't rebuild it. It so ate her up. I said married her traditionally in the church and in the registry, Surulere. I am saying places that you can verify. If you want to know the name, private chat me, I'll give you the name so you can confirm at that registry. So at the end of the day, this other guy and his wife, the woman had to pack her children one day and moved on. She was like, this is getting too much. By the time she realized that her husband had lied to her for more than 8 years, she left with the 3 children and never to come back. That is what betrayal is. But there are betrayals, like I said, the first example I gave. If it's about, you told me as your worker, please, I don't want to see anybody, as a secretary, as your manager, I don't want to see anybody, I am quite busy today, no matter who. Which means including your family members, I should not allow them see you. Then you come out to come and blame me. No, that one is actually not the best. So there are so many things that are there that will make you really feel betrayed. If your partner is not reliable, can your husband or your wife or your employer or employee count on you? Can somebody say, she has said yes and it is yes? Can somebody say he has said yes, it is yes? Can you actually see something today that's, okay, I am not a party to this, and for real, you are not a party to it? So many people will say, I'm not a party to this, but give them small change, they change their mind. We are looking at such things. Are you the type that they can buy over with money? Am I only your friend